Hey friends, it's Marla with Raising Cain, and I so enjoyed gathering this group of to-dos and projects. Let's start with the mantle clock. I found this mantle clock thrifting, obviously, and it was only $4. The clock doesn't work, but I think I can replace the works in there if it matters that much. But you know, it's mostly for looks. And I've never painted out a mantle clock, so this was my chance to really have fun with it. Now, plaster is my favorite neutral tone. So I did the first coat of plaster, and then I did the moss green. And in case you didn't know, I find painting anything extreme therapy for my soul. I'm not sure what on earth it does to my inner being, but to paint something is one of the most relaxing things that I can do, and I certainly don't pass up many chances to paint something. If it sits still long enough, I'll probably paint it. All right, after the coat of a green chalk paint, I sealed it with white wax, which also gave it kind of a, you know, a little bit of a lighter tone to it. The white wax does show up. Now look at my books. The stacks of books on the buffet right now are all those that were around 100 years old. The oldest one was 1869, and it's on top of that Longaberger basket. And I so have enjoyed looking at these books and smelling the old smell of books. Now we're going to do a fire pit. My family loves to burn fires, campfires, when we go camping and in our backyard. And for a while we had a fire pit that was up on legs, but we decided that we needed one that was a good bit more sturdy, because my grown sons and Ben love to build enormous hot fires. We got all the blocks we needed at Lowe's, plus some paver sand.
Enough to keep it from burning the concrete up. That may be plenty.
It's a little bit wet.
Yeah, that's fine. But we just don't want it hurting the concrete. It's the main thing. I mean, we can go higher to have a higher fire.
Do it.
Go ahead and do another one.
Yes.
Oh, you're not warm enough?
Well, come in the house and find your jacket.
Okay, I got it.
You're cold.
I'm just gonna put my hand.
Everybody. Yeah. I see you. We had s'mores. So much fun. Framed Raggy quilt and other projects with the Raggy quilt. I don't even remember buying it. I've had it at least 10 years, and I'm sure I got it at a thrift store. But that frame that I found the other day, I gave it a coat of white wax so that it would be a little more faded looking, because look how faded this quilt is, and it has an enormous hole in the middle of it. So it was a great candidate for salvaging the pieces, and even the pieces have completely threadbare spots that you can see that cotton batting behind it, and that's fine. I don't care if you see it. It's kind of part of the charm, in my opinion. And I also don't care if there's chips and scratches on my frames. I'm kind of funny that way. It doesn't bother me. So I ended up doing 2 pieces in these frames. I already had the other frame painted out from another project, I think one of the weddings or bridal showers, and then I made a lumbar shaped pillow, and I've still got most of that quilt left to do even more raggedy quilt projects. I like changing things out in that one spot. Chicken wire display. I found this chicken wire framed already, but if I hadn't found it, I should. It's the kind of thing that I would have made for myself because it's just great. You can see I had all my cookie cutters on there and decided that I would put those in a beverage dispenser so that I could change it up for the spring and summer, or just indefinitely. And you see I've got the little vintage looking, it's from Hobby Lobby, little dustpan and broom and a old-timey looking flour sack tea towel. Now, coat crate storage. I thought I might put it on its side, but all my spices were too big to be on their side. And I loved the way that looked, but I didn't think I had it in me to do all those little tiny labels. Now, my coat crate I use in all the seasons. Here it is at Christmas. I also love it in the summertime. I even take it camping. Okay, look at this problem. Seasoning's gone wild. My boys love to cook, and they never put a single thing back in the cabinet. So at least I took away the canisters we weren't using and freed up a lot of counter space. At some point we will remodel and do new cabinets and new countertops, but at this point we've lived in this house since 1999 and I'm so used to those yellow countertops I'll probably cry when we get rid of them. Coffee bar reset. Now, my coffee bar is an entertainment center. At Christmas, it's down at the end of my kitchen near the laundry room. At Christmas, I had it all fixed up, and then since Christmas, it's looked just about like that. Now, the reason I have this entertainment center over here is literally because I don't have enough cabinets, and I didn't have enough cabinet storage space for my pots and pans. So I've put all my stainless steel cookware in there, and that's worked out really well. It's been a good spot for it, but it also gives me a good space on top for other things. Now, the long plank that I did have up there was literally only sitting on pots because, just making do. Now, I did have these gorgeous legs that I bought. They came off some Pottery Barn bar stools that I bought. 12 of those long, pretty feet. And now I have my plank that was previously painted and is original to this 1972 house. It came out of a closet, pretty sure. So now I've never had cafe curtains back there before, so now I've got the cafe curtains back there, and I did that at midnight just about, so I took a daylight angle of it later so that you could maybe see a little bit better. I did switch out a little bit of the decor above the window. I had that one sign that I found for $5 at a thrift store that I really love. I don't actually have too much redone stuff, but I really like that sign. Now I'm just going to pan around so you can see how close this little spot is to my laundry room. Now, Ben installed those doors, those sliding doors, and sometimes we keep them closed, sometimes they're open. I like them both ways. It's really enjoyable and very handy for us to have the laundry right there next to our kitchen. Vintage jewelry display. I found a really pretty ornate frame that's for a collage of pictures. Well, we just don't print out pictures like we used to now that we have social media. So I just imagined that I would love to have something different with this frame because it's a really pretty frame. So I have the chartreuse burlap, and I have my little special vintage pieces, and I took the cardboard and the glass. I just kept the glass with it because it was kind of taped together anyway. And I thought, well, that way if I ever need it in the future, covered the fabric onto the board, put it back in there, and displayed all these little sentimental pieces to me. Now each of them has a little story, something that means something to me. Probably not to anybody else, but to me. My sister-in-law Gloria gave me the little dragonfly. She's gone to be with Jesus now, but I have always loved that dragonfly pin, and I can always unpin it and still use it. But I love having it here in my bedroom. I felt that since it was a jewelry display, it was appropriate to have it in the bedroom. And the green goes with my oak moss from Valspar. That's my wall paint. And forevermore with the antiques. Now, that hat and the bird you just saw are recent thrift finds that you'll be seeing those on a thrift haul coming up. But I am loving this massive 5-foot long oak shelf with those hooks. If you can believe this, I paid $10 for it on Facebook Marketplace. It seemed sketchy. The guy that was selling it seemed sketchy, so I made Sam go with me, and I made this man meet us in a public place. You know, Sam's a big guy, so anyway, that was fun. Repairing chips and cracks. I have a method that I've come up with. I'm not sure if anybody else does it. I found this little Pioneer Woman pot for $4 because it has crack in it. Well, my method that I have good luck doing is nail polish or any kind of paint. And you see I'm taking some nail polish remover to go back and take away. Now, I'm not going to cook in this thing, but it's very pretty. Look, you know, you could just turn it around backwards, but I wanted to see how close I could match it, and it's pretty good. But you know, the tea towel hides all that. Now here's another little thing that I'm repairing. This tiny little, I paid 25 cents. It's a salt shaker. I wonder what kind of pepper ever existed, but it's very old and I love it. Bunny makeover. I've been wanting a fat bunny for ever so long. I wish I had one as big as a beach ball, but I did find this one at Lowe's when we were picking up the blocks for the fire pit. And it just looked a little too sterile, a little too cold for me, so I thought, let's warm it up. Let's do some finishes. The elephant chalk paint with a white wax finish. And I thought that all those tiny little details, you see those little divots, and I knew that the white wax would look really great down in all those details that really weren't showing up in its original. It's kind of a resin, a heavy resin. It's made to be outdoors. It was in the outdoor garden area. Well, I'm going to let you see what it looked like before, and here it is after. I like it so much better painted out this way. Oh, he's so cute, nestled in those little fern greeneries. Whitman Tin Repurpose. My Valentine brought me candy for Valentine's Day, and it was in this very bright red tin. And I loved the pattern on it, but I didn't love the bright red. So obviously, if anything sits in my domain, it's going to get painted. So we get the elephant chalk paint and the white wax, and I've put it in this very old egg basket with a couple of little floral stems, and now it looks good just sitting there. I could use it for something, but I probably won't. It's probably just going to sit. Custom vintage broom. Well, you know, I should use the broom more than I do, but maybe this will help me want to use it more. I've been wanting a really good heavy-duty corn broom for a while. But you know, I can't leave well enough alone. I gotta make it look like something special. That royal blue was killing me. I just couldn't take it. So, mixed up the apothecary green from, I used moss, and I used a little dollop of lagoon blue, and then I used my little transfers. Those are from Amazon, and they certainly are beautiful. And there is a custom vintage broom that's not truly vintage, but sure is cute. Maybe it'll make me want to use it more. I mean, I feel like I have to use it a lot anyway. But hanging there with my little vintage looking dustpan, that's just so sweet. Spring fern basket. Now I have grand plans for my front porch, but in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and put a few of my accessories out there. This is the basket with the foam and Spanish moss that my eucalyptus came in. And it just worked out perfectly to put fern and greenery, and I wanted to, well, you see it sitting there on my very old barrel. That's an actual old barrel. I have no idea how old it is. I kind of stole it from my mother. And I've got a teacup. It is anchored down. It won't fall out. A vintage teacup with the eggs. Thanks for watching. I love doing projects, and I've always done projects. It's just a recent development that I've begun making videos of my projects. But it's been a lot of fun, and I'm glad to do it. It's something I can do. Even though I can't do everything, I can do this. Now here's a short clip of my grandbabies. Do you see the little tiny Coke bottles? That's good. You just put them right inside that little crate. Can you look at the little things? You were looking at the barrels and the tiny lamp. Look, Claire, show me. Show me the tiny lamp, Claire.
Show it to me.
Yeah, you got the tiny lamp.
Mama.
Okay, but now remember, we're going to try our best to keep all the tiny parts right here.
Ooh, pick it up.
That's good.
Margaret, can you put mine back for me?
Keep it right over here with all the other tiny parts.
Put it back where it goes. Is that like a little house?
It's a planter that I found. It was somebody had already started it, but it wasn't cute yet, and then I made it cute. Well, I painted it a color that was better, and I painted out the details, and somebody had handwritten the words General Store, but I made a new sign that says Galloway Mercantile. And then all these Coke signs, I made all those. And I got all the miniature furniture and accessories in the Hobby Lobby miniature dollhouse section. Are you singing? Oh, that little tiny, where'd it go? There's a tiny little spoon somewhere. It fell out, didn't it?